if these supposed allegations turn out to be true regarding Stephen Ross and the $100,000 per game for losing each game, he should be stripped of being the owner of the Miami Dolphins. You can't have the NFL talking in one breath, talking about the integrity, the shield, the integrity of the game, but then one of your owners is actively throwing games. It just can't happen. And here's what I want to point out as far as the NFL is concerned in this aspect. Stephen, you remember the statement a couple of days ago the NFL put out in regards to this lawsuit, how they basically said it was without merit?
Yes.
I mean, it literally, like the lawsuit dropped, and then the NFL issued a subsequent statement like within a couple hours saying that the lawsuit was without merit. And I just go back to one of Brian Flores' lawyers who said the NFL put more time into investigating Deflategate than they put into, at this moment, the allegations that Brian Flores has brought to the light as far as tanking, money offered by Stephen Ross. So what does that tell you, Stephen A? What does that tell you about this whole process?
Well,
what does that tell you? Like that,
you want me to answer? You want me to answer?
That worries me. That worries me. That are we going to get a real investigation into this whole thing? The fact that you're willing to put more resources and energy initially into Deflategate than this bombshell accusation by Brian Flores, that is disturbing. And so I have to say this as far as this whole deal with Brian Flores. The fact that you would offer a head coach, and more importantly, a black head coach, to tank, offer him money. Think of the disrespect that you got to have for a coach to offer him $100,000 per loss, when we know how hard it is as an African-American coach to get said job. I mean, Brian Flores had to work himself up the ranks from scouting department to being, an assistant, a defensive coordinator, all to position himself to get a head coaching job. And then the owner is going to say, you know what? I'm trying to get a higher draft pick, so here's $100,000 each game if you'll tank these things.
Damien,
think of the level of disrespect.
Let me interject.
Go ahead, Stephen.
I feel compelled to interject. And I want to caution all my brothers and sisters at ESPN, black, white, and in between. We're the worldwide leader. We're the monolith. We're the mothership, as some people call us, okay? Let's be clear about something here. It is highly suspicious what's going on. There definitely needs to be an investigation. We all understand that. But Brian Flores made an accusation. We have to wait to see the proof. Stephen Ross, I don't know the man. I know about Rise. I know about his contribution to African-American causes. I know about the millions that he's thrown into all of that and whatever. But it's just an accusation. I don't mean it just as in it's not significant. I understand it's significant. But we have to remind ourselves, we live in America. You are innocent until proven guilty. Stephen Ross is categorically and emphatically denying these claims made to him by Brian Flores. Now, am I raising an eyebrow? You're damn right. And are both you and I, Damien, on the record saying he's got to go if this is true? Absolutely. Jimmy Haslam, the owner of the Cleveland Browns, if what Hue Jackson said is true, he's got to go. There's no doubt about that. But what I don't want any of us doing is acting as if the man is quiet and went and hid in a hole or something. Or this is emails like the John Gruden situation where there's evidence that's been there and we've seen it and all of this other stuff, and the brother's got to resign. This 81-year-old owner for the Miami Dolphins has categorically and emphatically denied the claims levied against him by Brian Flores and his legal team in this civil lawsuit. So we can't talk about him as if he's guilty. We could say we're suspicious. We could look at him and say, oh, you got some explaining to do, my brother. You need to explain, you and Jimmy Haslam. You need to come out and explain yourself, no doubt about it. But we don't know. And as a result of that, the NFL has to investigate. And I hear your point about the investigation. But Brian Flores just came out with these accusations a couple of days ago. And oh, by the way, the accusation wasn't just levied against 3 teams, New York, Miami, and Denver. It was also levied against the National Football League office. Deflategate wasn't the case. Deflategate is under your purview. You had nothing to do with what was going on in New England. So you could bring the heavy house down because nobody was investigating you and the effort that they put forth towards Deflategate to find out what the hell was going on, who were the culprits, et cetera, et cetera. Well, it's easy to do when you don't have to ward off the shrapnel of cynicism coming in your direction because an allegation has been levied against you. That's not the case here. In this case, the allegation has been levied against the National Football League just a couple of days ago. So I'm not going to look at them as if they're dragging their feet. I believe they're going to investigate the situation involving Miami and Cleveland, specifically because of Hue Jackson, because that points to the integrity of the game. And they have no choice, and they know they got to address that. I believe they're going to do that. Real quick,
so they said they are going to investigate that, the tanking issue. The part that they didn't need to investigate was the hiring practices, because they believe
of their league office.
Yes, right. yes. That they weren't going to investigate, and that is what the statement they were standing by.
Right.
Not the tanking issue.
Exactly.
That will
Not
be
the tanking issue.
That will be investigated.
Not the tanking issue, nor were they letting off the hook New York, Denver, Miami. What the league is saying is us. Now, where they made a mistake is our clubs. When they include those words, our clubs, and then said the lawsuit is meritless, that's where they messed up.
But to Damien's point, tanking and throwing games is far more egregious to the integrity of the game than deflating footballs for a quarterback.
That's right. Right. But it just happened 2 days ago is all I'm saying.
Yeah,
right.
But he's right.
Well, here's what I'm going to say, Stephen A. I think, as we talk about the tanking and all this stuff as it relates to Stephen Ross and Jimmy Haslam, let's keep the main thing the main thing. Yes, we're talking about the tanking, but the main thing is the hiring practices. Okay?
Right.
Let's not
lose
forget
sight
the
of that.
substance right. We need to keep the main thing the main thing. Let's not get caught up in that. I'm not saying that it's not worthy of discussion, but we need to keep the main thing here. The hiring practice is the big topic and the topic that needs to have the most light shined upon it in this whole discussion that we're having.
Totally agree, because listen, when we talk about the whole social justice movement and all the protests and everything that was taking place in the aftermath of the murder of George Floyd, what folks keep forgetting, and I keep bringing up, is that it was a metaphor for what black folks believe has been going on for centuries. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.